Hi everyone, it's Freeze Friday on Saturday. I was a little busy yesterday, and I'll explain that as we go along. I'm going to kind of quickly go through these, and I have a companion video that goes with the very last layout that I'm going to show you. I'll start with this one, which was a little bit I don't know, perplexing for me. I had these photos that I loved that I used my stage light setting on my phone in portrait mode to take photos of from my own garden. And these are a couple irises and a clematis vine that were all in bloom at the same time on the day that I did this layout. And I was working from a recipe, a Scrap Squad sketch that was this, or a Scrap Squad lift, and then also from a Spoonful of Scraps recipe for black cardstock, mixed alphabet stickers, 4 or more pattern papers, 3 hearts, and a mixed media background. So I did this one. There is a video out there of this. I used, this is my one of my pattern papers, and there are 3 here and a 4th one here, and then one that I used. You can barely see the pattern, but I used it for stamping on here. So, and that's the black cardstock. The mixed media I did by using some watercolor powder and getting it onto my stencil and then pressing the stencil onto here instead of doing it through the stencil. And it made it kind of messy. It's really beautiful because it shimmers. Now this probably needs to be glued down a bit, but I can get to that later. It was all kind of wet, I think, when I put it together. So I like this one, and I've gotten a lot of good feedback from it, but it doesn't look like me, I guess, and I will you know, withhold judgment. This one is an October afternoon version of it's a load layout that had to do with let's see, it was from Strawberry Fields, and we were to use strawberries or gardening pictures, and so I have some strawberry images. All of this is October afternoon, except if it isn't. I think maybe this aqua paper is just cardstock, and it's possible these big flowers are from somebody else besides October afternoon, but they went so well with this paper. And yeah, okay. So that was the design I was lifting. I used a Scrap Squad birthday lift for that one. This is another Scrap Squad birthday lift. It's lift number 2, and I did this with the May Mind the Scrap kit. The original had the striped papers straight across the top, but my circles were cut bigger, so I didn't have room to do anything that was there, so I did a couple torn paper things, and I just saw someone lifted me on this. I'm actually forgetting now, my apologies, but she did just an absolutely beautiful job of it. And I apologize for not remembering. I'm surprised I remembered that I had to do this video. This is another Scrap Squad birthday lift using Mind the Scrap May kits. It's a picture of Katie. She was actually walking out the door to drive to go pick up her cap and gown for the weekend's drive-by graduation. So I cut the photo so that it kind of looks like it's a pathway to bigger and better things. I messed around with the lighting on it. This is the Japanese maple back in the background, and there's some green trees. I messed with the lighting settings and color settings in my photo editor my own photo editor on the Mac. I didn't use a filter for this, to get the colors there to look like the colors in this map paper, because I knew I wanted to use that. And I drew my grid lines and used supplies. These are mostly Pink Fresh supplies that came in the Mind the Scrap May kit. So it's kind of some teen-like images, and of course I used the ladybug here and the ladybug here because that's Katybug. This was another one that was a load layout and also a Scrap Squad birthday lift based on a sketch that was by the incredible Laura Rumble. And we were to scrap about work. So I picked some photos that my boss had used. I have the posters, I don't have the photos. Well, that's actually my college ID from right before I graduated and went to work in 1968, embarking on my 40-year career, retired in 2008. So from here to here, that's what 40 years in IT will do to you. So I used some stamps on this beautiful gray. I love this gray cardstock. It's just beautiful. And because I was stamping, I used the smooth side of it. Next time I'm going to use this gorgeous textured side. These alphas came from the kit. This wood grain paper came from the kit. I just used all dies that I had that made circular-ish images, including this circle arrow, and then used an angle for the title and then another angle down here to go under this photo. So that's one of my favorite pages, and it's, again, doesn't look anything like my usual style. This one also uses Mind the Scrap May kit, but these stars were punched with a hexagon punch out of a paper from the April kit. And this is a Scrap Squad birthday lift. This was the original, and I turned it to this. I had these pictures. These are the flowers, the first flowers that my son gave me, and then this is a cake he baked and the flowers that he gave me with that. So it was my Mother's Day week, and a lot of people are envious that and going to convey that to their own kids, that a Mother's Day week is a good idea. Okay, this is another Scrap Squad, but it's International Scrapbook Day. This is Scrapbook Day lift number 7, and I loved the craft background, and it looks like there's some craft colored mixed media and 2 layers of doilies and lots of really colorful supplies there. But I kind of went rogue on it. I used the gray paper and all the other supplies, the frame and the lettering. Everything there is from the May Mind the Scrap kit. Oops, I've lost that. Where did that go? The glue must not have worked very well. It must have gone there. Okay. It seems like every time I do one of these videos, I find something that needs to be glued down. And this lovely, looks like a cut file, was from the April Mind the Scrap kit. I think it's Heidi Swap. And there were 2 of these in there, and I've used them all differently. I cut them apart and used them on different layouts. But this is about, based on the song Help, and my grandson Barrett had just been playing catch with his dad. He still has his glove on, and John was working in the landscape bed, and it looks like Barrett's asking, "Do you need any help?" So that was that. This is one that I didn't make a video of and haven't really posted out there a lot. I used it for load, It was based on the song Yesterday, and on that day I was kind of in a mood, I guess, and I have a baby picture of myself sitting on a beach with my little curly blonde hair, and this is, I don't know where this paper came from, and I've lost my A on there, so that's something I do need to fix. It may be on here. Well, I'll look around for it. This is My Mind's Eye. It's from cut and paste, and I have the pieces that I cut that out of, and I'm going to use those on another layout. That's kind of off in my to use soon bowl. This was fussy cut from Out of Print, which is it's probably one of my very, very favorite basic grays, and I fussy cut that, and this was the original. There were several photos and a lot more colors than I have here, but I kind of did a sort of a melancholy kind of page. And I used a phrase from the song, I Said Something Wrong. So here's one I did for Challenge Accepted, and this was the Scrap Squad International Scrapbook Day layout that we lifted. Shannon and I picked this one out. I was, of course, drawn by the pretty blue background and all the yellow accents, and the fact that there was the black, white, and yellow splashes around, and this doodling around it are just amazing. So I went, instead of blue, I picked a Heidi Swapp paper from her Storyline line, and it already had the watercolory look. I added gold and white sprinkles, and I had edited or filtered a couple pages, 4 or 5 different versions of this photo of Ava, which was, the original was very, very blurry, and the filters tend to pick up the detail, and you can see her face and her hair much better in the filtered versions. And I had a hard time picking, so I picked 2 of the 5, and I'm not sure what I'll do with the other 3 photos. But again, all May Mind the Scrap kit. There's a beautiful map paper back there, and I was trying to use all of the layers that Laura Rumble used in her page. And I've got, like right in here, I'm not entirely happy with this, so I will probably find some kind of embellishment to put here to kind of bridge this gap between where that tab is and where this piece starts. So this is one I did for Mixed Media Frenzy, and the original was this really colorful and yet grungy, or grungy yet colorful layout. And I really kind of dug this whole circle of rainbow colored dots. And I maybe kind of overdid that here, but all in all, I really like it. The background, all of this, the green, the different color green mixed media back in the back that kind of extends over this way, is part of a Vicki Boutin pre-done mixed media foundations paper. And so I kind of picked up on, I actually used a filter for this photo that kind of picked up on the bright colors in the pool scene right behind us, and those kind of, this kind of looks bubbly, and I don't know, it kind of looks pool-like to me, and I have sunshine and camera, and that's one of those pink stars that I had a smaller one of and I had lost in the page I was making this morning. And then this next one, I had all these supplies on my table, and I had another lift that I had to do. This was Challenge 10 for the International Scrapbook Day, and I was given another Spoonful recipe. New recipe comes out on Spoonful of Scraps every Thursday. So the recipe this time was lots of white space, silver in some way, and ink, either stamping or splatters or whatever. So I thought I would do a pared back version of this, but I kind of wanted to capture the grungy look. And the load prompt was there a load prompt? Nope, there wasn't a load prompt. Oh, I know what. For this one, because this picture was of a kid in a backwards hat wearing sunglasses, I looked around for pictures of the kids in hats and sunglasses, and I found this adorable one. She was wearing pink, and I knew that I wanted to go with this pale aqua color for the star background. I used Paige Evans' star stencil there. And this is an old stamp. The banner is an old stamp, and it was actually straight, so I had to curve it. And I had a heck of a time getting that placed properly on my MISTI, because normally you'd lay it down on the paper and then put the MISTI cover over and then bring it back and then stamp it. But it wouldn't stay curved on the paper. And so I had to kind of place it on the MISTI and try it several times. So this took a little bit longer than it looks like it might have. I did some splatters. I did my silver stars. I have lots of white space. And I used ink in both the splatters and in the stars and in the these kind of thing, and also in the stamping. And the bow is from the May Mind the Scrap kit. Was just the perfect little touch at the ends there. And I did a little doodling and some of my journaling. So this was a quick page. Probably took me 10 or 15 minutes to do that once I had printed the picture. And in my scrap pile, I had this diagonal stripe that matched the color of the stars perfectly in a cut apart sheet from Pink Paisley, or not Pink Paisley, but Pink Fresh. And so I did that. So this one is a pre-made scrapbook page that I just I edited to my own satisfaction. Let me see. I'll show you the book, Lazy Scrapbooker paper pad. And it's got, I think, 2 of each of several different designs, like many different designs in here, that are all pre-done, and then they're kind of overlaps so that you can stick your photos in and it looks like the embellishing was done afterwards. So I picked this one. The load prompt was based on Yellow Submarine, so I found a photo filter and filtered this picture of my husband looking back at the cruise ship in Fiji as we were walking around the city. And it made the trees, or the greenery that you see, the horizon back there, turned it yellow. It was a Roy Lichtenstein based filter. So I printed that. I wanted to add yellow. This yellow is my cardstock, and this is what came on the page. And this strip of torn paper was there, as was this pink down here, and I added the yellow to repeat that. And I added these little strips for journaling, and pretty much this page was done. It was easy peasy. I did another one this morning with another page from that pad, and I actually made a video of this one. The load prompt today is based on the song Something by the Beatles. So I pulled some titles, Something in the Way She Moves. These fringes were printed on the paper, as was the title, and these 2 glitter stars. I added this Bramble Fox perspective. There's a 4x6 slot there, and I filled it with a scrap of Vicki Boutin paper that the other side of the scrap, I had done some die cutting from it. I love this, and I hated that I used up the cut parts that were on the other side, so I've asked for another sheet of that in a kit from Secret Not Secret. And Christina said, "You got it." So I love when she says that. So there was this one tag. I added a couple more tags to kind of pick up on the pink and to repeat the pink that's in this Woot Woot thing, and I repeated that pink again down here in this star. There's this trio of stars, the glittered stars, these three. So I added one to these two to make a trio up here, and I added two to this one to make a trio down there. Same with the buttons. I added a Brad and a button. Here I had two buttons, so I added a Brad. And I did some journaling there, some journaling here. Again, very quick and easy. I added some green ink splatters to the orange and black ones that were already printed on the page because I wanted to pick up this lime green that was here. There's a lot of repetition of the minty green, the green that is very similar to the color of the year. So again, another quick page, and it's very similar, I think, to using a digital template. So I do that for load, which doesn't require that you can do digital pages, and you can use a template, or you can use the Heidi Swap or the Project Life app on your phone, or anything that you want to just document a memory. So this one was a special one of the absolute pure joy in Katie as she's dancing to Rocking Around the Christmas Tree while she and her brother were wrapping Christmas presents in my husband's office, which is right next, or my husband's workshop is right next to our office at our little basement apartment. So those are my layouts. I use some old supplies, some new supplies. I'm really running through my May Minus Scrap kit, and I'm loving, again, shopping from my stash. I love opening a drawer that I haven't seen, and using this book is, just kind of a double thing. When I first bought the book, I did not envision actually using it. But I thought it would give me some ideas to lift, some design ideas to lift. And to be honest, I've lifted probably 3 or 4 of my quote-unquote original designs from ideas that I saw in here. And there's a nice blend of pages. It's almost, you can use it to make these quick pages. You can use it to kind of teach yourself some design principles and to also give you an idea of different materials, how different materials work together. I personally might not have put buttons and fringe and stars and tags and all of these things and the ink splatters in the way that they're done. But I loved this page, and I'm happy with the additions I made to it. So it's all good. That's a happy thing. Spending wise, I ordered but have not yet received. I ordered and paid for a set of 100 page protectors because, and that'll hold 200 layouts. I've done, this one was my layout number 234 for the year. So those page protectors for 200 ought to pretty closely get me through the year. I do typically 4 or 5 in a week for different groups that I publish and video for. And then I do others that are challenges. And if my policy is if Scrap Squad puts out a lift or if Spoonful of Scraps puts out a recipe, I'm there. Ooh, I found my A. So I'll get a little glue and put that puppy on, and I'll probably take off all the other letters and do that too. Let me go back and find that one. And I try to, combine as many challenges as possible. There will be another couple of load challenges, and every month there's the Secret Not Secret scrap party, which is just an amazing opportunity. It's an online crop that has such a variety of projects that you get to do, and so I try to do those, and it's so I may end up doing, maybe, let's see, we're just starting June, so we've only done 5 months. I may end up doing 500 layouts this year, so I might need a few more page protectors. But in any case, that's the only money I spent this week, and I'm happy with that. And I've used, like I said, there's a combination of old supplies and new supplies in this set of layouts, and I'm very happy with that. So thank you for watching. I will post the process video for what I did to enhance or to add to the page that was already there. It's just a little short video. I'll post it when I post this layout share. So again, thank you very much for watching. Let me see if I can find my little remote, and I'll see you next week. Bye.